Hey, it's Pastor Dan from Dexter Gospel Church with another Proverbs Practical. Thanks for watching today. Our proverb today looks at another problematic relationship. We're in Proverbs 27:15, and it says, "A continual dropping in a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike." So leaving the obnoxious, artificial, overly friendly person from the last verse, Solomon turns to another kind of relationship interaction that's also troubling. This proverb takes the latter half of Proverbs 19:13, which says the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping, and makes the thought its own proverb. Have you ever been caught in a rain that just won't stop? For the people of this place and time, as he writes this, there was almost no escape from a day-long rainstorm. Their roofs were flat and generally not very well made. They didn't have good umbrellas. Whether you were inside or out, you were going to be affected and bothered by this constant dripping of water. It would be worse if you were out in it with nothing to shield you at all, but even inside there was just the continual dripping and dropping of water on a rainy day. Solomon says that a woman who is always fighting with you is like that. There's just no relief and no escape. It's the same word for contentious that's translated brawling back in Proverbs 25:24, the same word used to speak of the contentious man who kindles strife in Proverbs 26:21. There are some people, men and women, who just have to fight. They can't let things go. They have to have the last word. They have to prove that they're right. They have to force others to knuckle under to them and do things their way. Being around people like that is sometimes as unavoidable as the rain was then and there, and just as tiresome, just as wearying, just as frustrating and disheartening. This was especially true if you were married to them. God hates divorce, and being argumentative wasn't really grounds for divorce under the Old Testament law anyway. So if Solomon's son or any other guy had an argumentative wife, or for that matter if a woman had an argumentative husband, there was little escape. The rainstorm might make it so that you didn't want to go out, but the fussing might keep you from wanting to stay in. Both here and elsewhere, it seems like the focus is on the contentious, brawling woman. And why is that? Why not men? As I said when we looked at similar passages in the past, contentious men are addressed as a source of conflict, but they seem to be emphasizing the woman, perhaps because in this culture, the wife and women didn't have as much authority as men and husbands did a lot of the time. If a man wanted something to change in his household or in his business or whatever, he needed the courage to do it and face the consequences of it, but he could change it. He had the authority. If a woman wanted to change things, she often had to work through or at least with her husband. But if he didn't want to do what she wanted to do, if he refused to change what she said needed to be changed, she was kind of stalled. It was hard for her to get her way because she didn't have the authority to force people to do what she wanted. So she would be inclined to push and to argue, to contend. And ultimately that would destroy the relationship, producing the kind of dynamic that Solomon warns about here. The harder she pushed to get her way, the more damage she would be doing to her relationship with the one person who could probably make it happen. Doing this would show that she cared more about winning on that one issue than she did her husband or their relationship. So again, we can learn from this on both sides of the coin. First, if we care about the people around us, and if we want to have relationships that don't consist of people being sick of us being around, we can't be contentious. We can't always be fighting, arguing, trying to prove we're right, trying to get people to do what we think they should. We can't live like that and expect to have healthy relationships, whether we're men or women. We can't expect people to put up with bad behavior just because of who we are. Saying that people should love us for who we are is no excuse for being argumentative, contentious people. We have to be patient with people, willing to accept that others have different perspectives and priorities than we do, different viewpoints, different opinions, and not let those differences rule every interaction that we have with them. Otherwise, they won't want to have interactions with us any more than they want to go out in the rain without an umbrella. Then on the other side, if we know someone is contentious, we often need to find ways to set healthy boundaries to keep ourselves from being drawn into contention. We need to be peacemakers, gentle and loving with them, even if they aren't with us or others. We can try to avoid getting sucked into relationships and closeness with people who are like this. And when it is unavoidable, like rainstorms are sometimes unavoidable, sometimes we have to learn to put a bucket under a leak or patch the roof, so to speak, to deal with the issue. But since that's so much easier said than done, this proverb just comments on how dreary it is to be around someone who's always looking for a fight. Let's try to avoid this situation on both sides. The next verse will have more to say about this, but that'll have to wait till our next video. I hope this video is a help to you. If it is, give it a like. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel for more content like it. Until next time, I hope you stay well and avoid contention.